Good day, my name is Lou Benedict Babanta. I'll be starting our presentation by discussing the beginning of the enrollment process, which is the account creation. Before a student can enroll, our system requires them to create an account. The system auto-generates a unique student ID, ensuring there are no duplicates. During this step, the student enters their name, birthday, sex, and address. We have also added input validation to prevent errors. For example, the PIN must be numeric. And names cannot contain symbols. Finally, the students select their course and year level. Here, we implemented a capacity restriction, where only 3 students per level per course are allowed. This simulates real-world enrollment capacity. After completing the form, the system saves the student profile and set account creation date, preparing for students' enrollment next steps. Now, to continue the process, I'll pass the presentation to my teammate, Gwen.
Okay, thank you, Luke. Now, I will discuss the student login and profile viewing stages. After creating an account, the next step is logging in using the student ID and PIN. To maintain the security, the system will allow only 3 login attempts. If the student enters the wrong PIN 3 times, they are returned to the main menu. Now, once logged in, the system will display the student profile, including their course, year level, birthday, and address. One of the most important parts here is the enrollment status, which dynamically updates depending on the student's progress. It can show statuses such as waiting for payment, pending approval, or fully enrolled. With the student successfully logged in, they can now proceed to the selecting subjects, which will be explained by the next presenter.
Okay, thank you, Glenn. I will now explain the student enrollment portion. So once the student chooses enroll subjects, the system automatically retrieves the list of subjects based on their specific course and year level. Each subject displays its title, code, and current status. To ensure fair and realistic academic load, the system enforces a 12-unit limit. If the student attempts to exceed this, the system immediately warns them. The system also prevents duplicate enrollment, meaning a student cannot enroll in the same subject twice. After the student chooses their subject, each is labeled as pending, indicating that the student must still pay tuition before it can be approved by the admin. At the end of this process, the system asks the student if they want to proceed to payment. Speaking of payment, let me now hand over to the next presenter.
Thank you, Kyle. For my part, I'll be discussing the tuition assessment and payment. Before the students make a payment, our system presents a full assessment preview. This includes each subject selected, number of units, cost per unit based on the program, and fixed fees such as miscellaneous, laboratory, internet, ID, library, and transaction fees. The system computes the total automatically. If the student confirms the payment, the system generates an official receipt number and logs the transaction into the payments file. Once payment is completed, the student's status updates to paid, while their subjects remain labeled as pending approval. This means they can be fully enrolled yet until the admin reviews them. To explain how this approval works, I'll now pass it on to the next presenter.
Thank you, Kenley. Now, I will discuss the admin approval process. After students pay, their subjects still need to approve by the admin. The admin panel provides a list of all students who are paid but have pending subjects. The admin has two options. 1. Approve all pending subjects, and 2. Approve only selected subjects. Once approved, the subject status changes from pending to enrolled. Our system also supports a drop request. If a student wants to drop a subject, the system marks it as drop pending, and the admin can either approve the drop or deny it and restore the subject status. All changes are saved, and the student's overall enrollment status is updated accordingly. To summarize the final status and reporting features, I'll now hand off to our last presenter, Cholo.
So, hi, I'm Carl and I'm going to explain the final stage of the enrollment process, which is the status updates and reporting system. So, first is to log in the admin account. Then, choose the view all students. In this option, it will display the student IDs of the all registered students in our system. So, student ID, the name, the course, and the enrollment statuses. So, as for the enrollment statuses, makikita natin na there are 6 types of enrollment statuses. So, first one would be the fully enrolled. So, in the fully enrolled status, meaning to say the student already picked his desired subjects, then nakapagbayad na rin siya ng tuition fee required for those subjects na gusto niyang i-take, then na-approve na rin ng admin yung enrollment application niya. So, next status naman would be the no enrollment. As you can see, sa unang estudyante, indicated siya as no enrollment. Meaning to say, the student created an account but their list of enrolled subjects is empty. Gumawa lang siya ng account pero hindi pa siya naglagay kung ano yung mga subjects na gusto niyang i-enroll. So, sa second student naman is waiting for payment. Waiting for payment means the student selected his subjects pero hindi pa siya nakapagbayad ng required na tuition fee for those subjects na gusto niyang i-take. So, sa third student naman is indicated as pending approval. So, pending approval, meaning to say the student already picked his subjects na gusto niyang i-take. Nakapag-pay na rin siya ng tuition fee na required for those subjects, pero hindi pa ina-approve ng admin yung enrollment application niya. And sa fourth student naman, mark siya as has drop subject. So, meaning to say, meron na siyang existing enrollment na nakapamili na siya ng subjects na i-enroll niya, nakapagbayad na din, then approve na rin siya ng admin. Pero, the system detects na there are at least one subjects na nasa student history niya as na-mark as drop. So, nag-drop siya ng isang subject niya. Sa fifth student naman, mark siya as partially enrolled. So, meaning to say, the student confirmed subjects are fewer than the total number of subjects required for their specific year and course. So, meaning to say, yung estudyante na to is yung mga tinatawag nating irregular, which means underloaded sila or konti lang yung subjects or kulang yung units na ite-take nila, so hindi sila regular load. So sila yung tinatawag na irregular. So next naman is the report summary. So the report summary is the one that loops through the entire database na nagka-calculate ng mga totals for the admin. So rather than showing the individual names, tinatotal na dito sa part na to kung ilan yung mga estudyanteng naka-register. So example for this is the total students, kung ilan yung registered na estudyante sa system. Then sa no enrollment, kung ilan yung estudyante na registered pero hindi pa siya nag-enroll. Then next naman is waiting for payment, is kung ilan yung estudyanteng na-detect na nakapamili na ng subjects pero hindi pa siya nagbabayad. Then next naman is the pending approval, kung ilan yung mga estudyanteng hindi pa na-approve ni admin yung enrollment application nila. Next is the fully enrolled. Then sa fully enrolled, kung sino yung mga estudyanteng ayos na yung mga enrollment application nila. So has drop subjects, kung ilan yung estudyanteng may na-mark as drop or may history ng nag-drop ng subject. Then the partially enrolled, kung ilan yung mga student na tinatawag nating irregular or mga underloaded students. So and lastly, student per course. So makikita natin dito kung ilan yung mga estudyante na naka-register for that specific course. So that would be my part. So thank you for listening.